The opinions and viewpoints expressed here are solely my own. They are not necessarily reflective of anyone else outside of my self-defense studio or any company affiliated with any of the work that we do. This Women's Self-Defense Weekly, we are going over the trail scenario. And if you haven't seen the precursor video, please go watch that for all the statistics. But remember, nobody should ever be made to feel unsafe, no matter where they are. Bad guys like isolation. It's what they are looking for. But there is a whole lot that we can do to not just fight back, but to completely flip the script and make sure not only we're safe, we're sharing this information, women everywhere, so that we can all be able to come home safely to our families. This Women's Self-Defense Weekly, we are going to be going over the trail scenario, but starting off specifically with weapons, as so many women are carrying self-defense tools with them when they go out jogging, exercising. And of course, we're going to be going over America's favorite answer to self-defense and why it's not what most people believe it to be. After you follow the channel for a while, you largely know where a lot of this is going. We've got some new information as well and some specific things. If you have not seen the precursor video, please go check that out. It was a few weeks ago because it takes a while to do some of this. I don't just put these things out there. I research them. I study them actively, and I do it in a very particular way. If you are just joining us, however, there's an instructor on all the socials. Her name is Gloria Marcotte. Please go follow her. This is the person. This is the one. I'm telling you. And I can say that because I'm not just a martial arts instructor. My family owned our own martial arts school, doing MMA, all kinds of things, but they were also law enforcement. And we did things in a very particular way because of that. Now, of course, following her, we're going to go over why I became an affiliate with her company and helping share and spread word specifically on the Soul Defender, the smart pepper spray that has a GPS locator inside that sends your emergency contacts in the app text messages and phone calls saying, "Help, I'm in trouble, here's my exact coordinates," opening up to a map, giving you real-time audio to anybody who has engaged in the spray or pushed the silent alarm on the button. In fact, as far as the alarms go with that, they're essentially both silent. Now, there is an actual alarm on here, 130 decibels, and I can tell you it is extremely loud. It's also a flashing strobe light, but moreover, it alerts also a 24/7 dispatch monitoring center that will call you. And they do call you every time. Yep, that happens. I kid you not. Now, there's a couple things to learn about the tool. I cannot encourage you enough to go get it because that's not even all the features on it. Beside that, and the strobe light, this also records the audio if you need it for court later. There's a pain compliance model, and the pepper spray is, I can also attest to that part. It is extremely, extremely strong. But of course, to America's favorite self-defense tool, well, as you saw in the beginning of the video, there's additional considerations. And that's the thing about this with firearms. We keep on adding these layers of what if, and why it's so important to train in a specific way. Everything with a firearm is a skill set, from the holster work to your grip, to your finger placement, to your frame, how you hold it, extension, looking after you pull back. There's a lot to go over. So some of them, we're starting right off with that. I'm not going to ever discourage you or encourage you to go here because the first thing I have a problem with is the majority of people, they don't train but a few times a year. Firearm owners, even concealed carry people, they train a little bit more. Current or former police, military, security, hunters, the people who actually were doing it for a living, they train it. And often because they know it's a skill set, you have to build it up to a high degree of proficiency, and then you have to keep up with it. That first scene with the grabbing the gloves, I do highly recommend you go get gloves. Please go do that. But number one, I won't really carry anything but a retention holster. I usually say because if I'm tackled, I want to know it's not going anywhere. Minimum stage 2, if not stage 3. But if you were to be carrying, your means of carry is huge, gigantic, massive, because one of the first things that we go through firearm class, and we teach at the police academy and all of these different places, is no matter where you go, there's at least one there. And if you were to not be cognizant of it or have anything happen, we just armed our attacker. That's a problem, big one. Retention holsters massively need to be in consideration, and there's a lot of really good holsters out there that aren't retention holsters. I get it, I have some, I just don't like to carry them because I want to know it's locked. It can't be pulled out. It has to stay there. I need it to stay there until I want it out. Brings me to my number 2. We have to be training this so much. Everything in shooting is a skill set you have to build to a high proficiency, and you have to look at it for what it is, and that is not just building the skill set and becoming very good with the tool, but then maintaining it many. In fact, I'd say the majority of Americans who own firearms don't train but a few times a year, if that. Many of the CCW people carry and train more, but I've had multiple club memberships in multiple cities in the last decade. We knew who all the regulars were. The regulars were current and former police and military and hunters and security. Those people train because they've got a job to do, right? And so if you have this higher expectancy of, perhaps having to use it to defend yourself, you're going to train a lot. If you're carrying it at all, you should be doing that. It's a huge consideration. One of my biggest sticklers for this is firearm safety rule number 4. Our backstop and beyond is probably one of the most under-talked about, hugely important things with this. You have to know, if you engage, what's on the other side. You have to know if there are cars, traffic, people, houses, buildings behind the threat, we don't have a shot. Now, of course, if you go to the classes, you'll learn how to deploy the fence, you'll learn how to engage and specifically do maneuvers, sidelining, and extension on what you can do to line out properly and get a clear backstop if it's even possible where you are. Many times you might be in a room where you can't see through walls, neither can I. And it's a big consideration also. There isn't a GPS locator in here with real-time audio alerting dispatch to call the police and all of our people in the emergency apps to come over right now to this location, letting us hear what's happening before we get there. Now, for many people, carrying is a different type of a mentality, and that's true in most places. For many people, if you're out here and you saw that scene in the beginning, in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains, and the response time is an hour and a half for law enforcement to come to you, well, we're our own first responders out here. It's a whole different life, and it means something different. I got my CCW when I was out in cities, and because of a different reason, but I definitely get it for all the reasons why you would want to. I'm a big fan. I'm just so much more of a fan of the education. I am so much more of a fan of the, please understand the level of responsibility we're talking about, and none of that stuff gets talked about. It doesn't. You hear it in class. That's where you hear it. If you go to a class, there's no educational requirement in this country for so many places. If you're looking for a self-defense tool that you can use right now, the Soul Defender is the only self-defense tool that I absolutely do encourage people to look into and get. This company's technology in both devices that they sell sends out emergency alerts to 24/7 dispatch and contact the police for you, as well as your own emergency contacts. And you can let your loved ones know that you need help right now, the push of a button, or if you end up having to engage with this spray. You can find and use this code here and get yours today. I'm Instructor Thompson, my self-defense studio.